Hi! Happy Monday again. That's flown. To say that the some holidays took forever, I feel like this Monday's come around really quickly again. So, hi, if you're just joining me now. I saw lots of you this morning. The sun's so bright. I saw loads of you this morning actually at our monthly meetup, which was really, really good. We talked about Google Business Profile and Google Search Console. And I met some new people again this morning. So yeah, I've had the best day so far. I feel like I've actually seen Jade for more than 2 seconds. So today's session, we're going to talk about small business don'ts. And this is kind of the general advice stuff that I give new businesses when I start working with them. So if you're on, come and say hi. If you've got any questions, as always, drop them in. And I'll pick them up. If you're watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay and drop me any questions there, and I will come back to answer them for you. I feel like it's been such a mad week. We relaunched Business Club Pro at the weekend. We finished off the Back to Biz week-long challenge that we started in September. So I feel like we've come full circle now, and we're like closing it off a little bit. I've got a hi, but I don't know who it is yet. Let me just go onto Facebook and have a look. But it's not working. Hi, Sharon. I saw Sharon this morning. We were just talking about the food that she's going to be making for Strategy Day. And there's still a space on Strategy Day if anybody wants to come, but you can ask me about that later. But yeah, Sharon caters for us and we get food. And she asked me what I wanted, and Jade Walton jumped straight in there with, "Can we have some more of those tarts, please?" So I don't think I get any say about what I want. That's all right. All right, so small business don'ts today. So there's 12 of them. So I'm going to fly through them. I'm praying the sun's going to hold out on the school run. And then I was thinking if I finish these faster, I'll be drier, which is not at all true because I still go to school at the same time. So I don't know what I'm doing. So small business don'ts number one, my favorite one is don't do the things you're not good at. And this is one where I get a lot of resistance to it because you have to learn how to do a lot of the stuff in your business. Totally accept that. I want to know every single thing that happens in my business. But when I get to the stage where I am too busy, which is very quickly happens for new business owners. When I get to the stage where I'm too busy, that is immediately the time to start looking at, right, am I working on what I'm good at? Can I get some help in to do some of the other stuff? Now, this is a really scary time because as a small business owner, again, one of the things I'll be saying is don't spend loads of money that you don't have to start with. But if there are things that you are not very good at that would help your business grow, and that, so Paul Davis from Klein Enterprise, who was one of my very first business coaches, I remember him saying something to me like, I could spend 5 hours trying to figure out how to do something to save money. So I could spend 5 hours myself trying to figure out how to do something. Or I could do 5 hours of work and pay someone else to do that. Like, what would the cash difference be? And at that time, gosh, when I first started, I was charging £40 an hour. I think it went to £60 after a few months. But then, like now, I charge much more than that. But then, if I had 5 hours work at £60 an hour, that was a heck of a lot more money than paying someone £7 an hour, probably back then, to do some of the stuff that I didn't know how to do. It's very scary to decide to do that. But like as an ethos in general for business is do the things you're good at. Don't do the things that you're not. There has to come a tipping point and it's a bit awkward to start with. I get that, but that's my first thing is don't do the stuff you're not good at. Okay. Number two, don't blame others. So this one is a really, 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 really common one. It's not just others, but don't blame circumstances. Every problem, every issue, every challenge, every mistake, everything that goes wrong, ultimately it lies on you. Like you bought the tools, you sold to the customers, you chose the priorities. This is your show. And if anything happens to it, it's your responsibility. And again, that feels really harsh and horrible, but that blaming others, you lose trust. So when we build our business, I talk loads about know, like, and trust. You need to build these things. So you start blaming other people, you lose a bit of trust. The best thing you can say is, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that doesn't work how it's supposed to. I'm so sorry that didn't work out how it was supposed to. Let me have a look what I can do. And pull a bit of responsibility back. It might not be you. It might be that the tech cocked up. It could be a million things, but it's still on you. Don't blame others. Don't pass the buck. Look at what you can do to fix the situation. It is your business. And it feels horrible saying it. Like, sometimes stuff is out of your control. We had a really good example with one of our business involved events the other week. We used a venue that was not up to standard at all. And we had real issues. We walked in and the place wasn't nice for a start, but then the tech didn't work. We had so many problems. And like the ultimate outcome of that was, right, look, we'll make the best of what we've got. We'll learn our lesson to not go back here. We still got all brilliant scores on everything, like except venue, but we made a bit of a joke about it and we owned the fact that we were running it there. Don't blame others. We could pass that blame on to people, but ultimately, like, we made the decisions. So don't blame others. Number 3, my third business don't. If you've got any comments and stuff, by the way, chuck them in. Number 3, don't ignore your numbers. So there might be a product you love selling or a cake you love baking or whatever it is that you do, but it doesn't actually make you any profit. It takes up a lot of your time. It's one that causes you issues that other things don't, but you like doing it. And this whole thing about knowing your numbers is so important, because if you don't know your numbers, or worse, if you ignore your numbers, you're still staying on that straddle line to a hobby business. So it's not a real business, it's a hobby business, which is fine if that's all you want. But it is your responsibility to create the business that you want to create. You cannot do that by ignoring your numbers. You need to know what you need to sell to make things worth it. You need to decide what's viable in your business. Do you know your profit margins? One of the women today came up and she'd had the best event that she'd had for ages. The first thing she said is, I don't know what my profit margins is, but I know I made this much. And I'm like, that's brilliant, because that is the most you've ever made. But now, to be able to do this again and to do it better next time, we've got to know where you made that. Like, what sold out first? How much of this could you have sold more if you had it, because you sold out of everything? Like, you have to know your numbers to make it better. But lots of people ignore their numbers because they like what they're doing. So yeah, number 3, don't ignore numbers. Number 4, a really interesting one, is don't get mistreated by your customers. And again, this is a tricky one, because at the beginning of a business, we tend to think that we need to accept all the shit that comes our way. We really don't. Like, not all customers are good customers. Not all customers are your ideal clients. Not all customers are the ones that are worth you interrupting your family time or your weekend. This idea of mistreatment, it like allows a just in your comment, Jackie, I'll put it up in a minute. It allows almost a precedent of how it's okay to behave. You will have people who complain unreasonably, or they pay late and you have to chase them all the time, or they haggle. It's like the whole goal of your business is to love running your business and to do business with people that you enjoy doing business with. Don't allow yourself to be mistreated by your customers, even if you're right at the beginning of business and you feel like you have to grab on to everyone. You don't. I cannot promise you that enough. If you've not done the ideal client work, come and join Business Club Pro and do the ideal client work, because that is the thing that frees you. Sorry, Jackie. Yeah, I'm quite sure that I am. And this is why you're still on the hobby business straddle. I like this word today, straddle. Yeah, I know. It's what lots of small business owners do. So number 5, I've already forgotten it. Don't ignore your customers. Okay, so how many times has it happened where you message someone, you've seen something they've got to sell, you message them, and you've heard nothing back? Like, tradesmen has got a really terrible rep for this. I've got such issues with tradesmen at the minute because they just don't answer me. Like, how is this good business? Even if you answer me and said, I'm really sorry, I can't fit you in. It's like, my level of respect like stays up there. Ignoring me, awful thing. You work hard to get your customers, so don't ignore them. But things like, are you staying in touch with people who bought from you in the past? Are you making suggestions on stuff they don't, or offering them more products or services that can improve their lives or businesses? So not just stuff you want to sell, can you give them more that would help them? Are you showing gratitude to loyal customers with discounts or incentives? Like, focus on your existing customers first, but there are lots of times where there's a breadcrumb given to you. This is blinding me. Where there's a breadcrumb given to you from like a new customer that is just ignored. And I've been guilty of that because I'm so busy. I just remembered something right now. I'm going to try down. About somebody that asked me something. It's really easy to get too busy and forget, but don't ignore your customers. Lots of small businesses do it. Okay. Number 6, this one's hard for me, but again, if you've been to see me in person, one of the things I will talk about is technology. When you are a new business, do not invest too much in technology. And it kills me to say that because tech can revolutionize how you work, it can make it streamlined, it can make it much more easy, but your cash flow is king at the start while you are a small business, and it is really, really important that you don't get seduced by all these things that promise you to do stuff for you. A, if you don't know how it works. B, if you haven't checked out if there is a cheaper or better way to start with. And C, it's like this idea of you have limited resource when you start. Where should you put it? And the 2 things that I recommend hugely for all business owners is Canva Pro, which is 100 quid a year-ish. It creates all of your social media. It creates all of your any graphics you need for your website. I create all my presentations on it. I create all my workbooks on it. Canva Pro is entirely game-changing. And then the other thing I recommend is a social media manager, a scheduler. So I use Social Bee for very good reason because it has a library function. So it cycles through your post again. If you want to know anything else about these, drop me a message. And I've got discount links for Social Bee. I don't think I've got one for Canva. But they are the 2 things I would recommend small business owners invest in before a website, before anything else. Email marketing software is free until you've got 1,000 subscribers. Do not spend your money on tech that does fancy things that you don't use or don't know how to use. You don't even spend it on a website. I build websites, and I will still say, depending on what your business is, you don't need to start there. You can start perfectly well with a free one, depending. So I've got a couple of businesses that offer professional services that benefit from having a professional website. Other things like cake making or crafts, you can do perfectly well on social media. So yeah, don't invest too much money in technology, too much money or too much time. Like, again, that idea of how much could I earn in this time versus how much am I spending learning about it. Okay. Number 7, don't think that the good times or the bad times will last forever. So again, another interesting concept, this idea of it's all shit. I've got a client who has a home holistic studio. She does massages and things. And she messaged in the group the other week about the fear had got her. It was August, all the bookings have slowed down. She like said, I'm in the fear. And it's this idea that, hang on, it's been just a short amount of time that your bookings have not been as busy as before. The good times don't last forever, but nor do the bad ones. It's a bit of a case of, while something is going good, well, like, reap the benefits of that, but don't assume it will stay like that. What a lot of people do is they stop marketing. When they're busy enough, we stop marketing, and then we get quiet. So we panic, start marketing again. But the reality is that marketing takes about 6 months to kind of be effective. So by the time you've started again, it's another 6 months before like it's showing that it's giving you anything back. So this idea that don't assume the good or the bad will last forever, you need to be consistent with how you're behaving in your business. Let me just see if I made any other notes on that, because that one's like a really, really interesting one. Yeah, things are never as good as they seem, and they're never as bad as they seem. You're always in the moment, but everything evens out over the long term. Yay, Donna, I'm glad you're here. I think my signal's not great anyway. Number 8, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I've made no secret of the fact that I've had some big council contracts this year, which have been wonderful. I'm very aware of it. So I have relaunched Business Club. I'm doing lots and lots of other stuff, but I'm very aware that a big chunk of my income this year has come from working with council, and I'm delighted. I mean, the work is brilliant, but I'm aware as a business owner that is not going to be potentially, probably, my long-term future. It's a now when it's working really, really well, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like we have Donna who does Comic Cons. This idea, you can have a really shit event, you can have a really, really bad event. If you were counting on that one to pull you through the year, you can't. It's that diversification into I do events throughout the year and I sell online as well. It's figuring out how to make sure you've got a spread, how to make sure you've got different kind of streams of income coming in. That is very, very important. Same with if you do events, if you are a cake maker, we've got lots of you in here. If you do events, making sure that you're not counting on one of them to give you everything you need, that you've got other stuff going on. Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 9, don't worry about your competition. So again, we talked about it this morning. My networking groups are entirely open. They are not there's one seat for one kind of person. Everybody can come. And some of like my happiest bits are we have, for example, Sharon and Jade, who are both cake makers, sat together on the same table and they refer business between them. Technically, their competition. I think there were 2 or 3 hypnotherapists in the room, plus me. Technically, we're competition, but we're not. We all have such different approaches to things and different ideal clients and really different ways of working. There's no time to worry about your competition if you're getting on with your own business. Stay in your own lane, focus on what you want to bring to your business, who you want to help, talk to your competition and figure out like you will be different from them. Don't worry about your competition. It's not real. It's not a thing. There is space for every business knocking about out here. You will find the clients that fit yours the best. Okay. Don't work too many hours. I'm laughing. Like I have a real strange thing here because so I officially work from usually 5 a.m. but definitely 7 a.m. but 5 a.m. most days, 5 a.m. till 2:30. So as soon as I come off of this, I'm done for the day. Now I say that and I mean it, but what I genuinely mean is I have no more face-to-face stuff after 2:30 any day, and I have Tuesdays off. Now, a lot of time I will be on laptops, I will be doing stuff in the background, but my work time is done. I don't have to reply to any other emails. It says it on all of my headers, on all my email footers that I work till 2:30. Don't work too many hours, because if we come back round to the whole reason why you set a business up, for almost all of you, it was for some sort of freedom. It was for possibly financial freedom, but actually the thing that comes out for most people is actual time freedom, like to be able to choose to do things when you want. And the women who are part of my network but don't have time to come on the networking events, we laugh like with them and at them, because the idea that I'm so busy working in my business that I don't get to do the stuff I did it for in the first place. Don't work too many hours. Decide to set your hours. Decide to work in a way that suits you perfectly well. Like I will reject all meetings after 2:30. Like that is the thing. I will reject all meetings on Tuesday. It's your business. You get to choose that. So don't work too many hours and don't work hours you don't want to work. Number 11, don't stop learning. Like this one for me, I love learning anyway. Again, I know lots of the women in our network love learning. That's why we do training at the networking events as well, because there's always something new that I can talk about. But this idea of don't stop learning, we do book club in Business Club Pro. We're reading Stephen Bartlett's book this month. But that, God, there's so much I want to know. There's so much I'm interested in. That learning is the bit that keeps your business interesting for you. And it helps you grow as a human being, not just a business person. Do whatever you need to do regularly. So again, do this regularly. It's not just a one-off and done. I've had people come to my events, had a brilliant time and not come back. And that's okay. but the ones who get the most out of them are the ones that like decide to invest in themselves regularly. So don't stop learning. My bookcase is full. My bookcase is always rammed full, and I'm buying new Kindle books every 2 minutes, but I read them. So yeah, don't stop learning. And then the very last one, if I go on the school run, is don't lose sight of why you're doing this. When you are trapped in this fear of you've overpromised something and you've got to deliver it, when you are in a financial fear that you need to make this much money, it is very easy to lose sight of why you're doing it. It's very easy for it to become not enjoyable. Like, why did you quit your job? If you're working more hours and you're miserable, you may as well go back and get another job. What's the reason that you like use some of your savings to invest in your business? Have you got a bigger mission that you want to help people with? Like we talk about a lot, my why is like, I want to watch business women grow. I want to watch women grow. I think we have it harder for lots of reasons. My why of doing this is to help women grow. And that's like that bit higher mission. What is it that you're doing it for? Why are you doing it? And reflect on that a few times, because it is really, really easy to get caught up in the scramble, I guess, I'm busy. It's really easy to get caught up in working in your business and not step out and go back to working on it and remembering like to create a strategy, to look at your direction, to understand why you're behaving like this, why you are treating your business like this, why you are selling what you're selling, why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, don't lose sight of why you're doing it in number 12. So let me know if any of those resonated with you. If the last one did, I talked quickly about strategy day, but there are still a couple of spaces. I don't know if there's 1 or 2 spaces left on strategy day for next Monday. Like we're running it whatever, I think. 2 Mondays. Just shouting words at me. So I think we can take maximum of 12 women. I think there are 10 on. There might be 11 on. So it's basically full. But if you want to come on strategy day and dig into where you're taking your business next, what you're doing this next quarter, come down. It's a full day, 10 till 4. So it's a proper deep dive day for working on your business. And it's £99 if you're a Business Club Pro member, £149 if you are not. Like an hour's coaching with me is between 120 for a one-off session or 160. You get the whole day to hang out with us, and it's not just my brain you can pick. So strategy is awesome. We have people coming from all around the country for it. So it's trainable, it's a word. You can get on a train. So yeah, if that's something you fancy, drop me a message and I'll send you some more information about that. Otherwise, have a lovely, lovely week. I will be back next Monday, I think. I'm back at a normal time next Monday, 9:30. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm back next week. So I will see you. Oh, done not perfect, Jade says. One of my favourites. In fact, I sent that message to Faye the other day. If you're knocking around, Faye, I talked a whole lot about let's get this done, not perfect. So that's next week at 9:30. Have a great week. Drop me a message if you want anything at all, and I will see you soon. Bye.